going back to some of the budget issues and the unions, we've heard a couple of different areas where obviously the unions have the budgets over the barrel. These budgets have no room for any kind of common sense budgeting that the rest of us have to go through. I find it highly suspect that large unions, my husband used to be part of one, large unions have the governors in their back pocket by making all of these donations, and please don't laugh.
It's funny.
It's funny for that.
Yeah. So the governor is in their pocket. He's supposed to be representing us. Every penny that goes into a state employee's pocket comes from you and I. And I'm sorry, but you don't deserve better than the people who are paying for it. And I'm just infuriated hearing, oh, it's the unions, or it's Governor Malloy. There are checks and balances for a reason. Look to the other states. Right to work. Other states have also passed legislation that give the employees the right to deny union status. They can not elect to not be in the union right now in Connecticut. And that is outrageous.
Okay, thank you so much. David?
Yeah, Dave Roach. I know most of you might know that I represent union construction workers, private sector, a little different. And one of the things I want to tell you about is Senator Martin proposed, I think, 5 different bills against prevailing wage to raise thresholds. Bristol, Connecticut is one of the largest populated areas of construction workers, union and non-union. I'm not just talking about union construction workers. I'm talking about union and non-union construction workers. And they want to go after the prevailing wage threshold because they say the towns they need that extra money. What it does is a project, when you build a project, 25 to 28% of a project is labor. You would have to cut that to pay somebody almost nothing to make any savings at all on that. When they completely turn around the other 70%, the soft cost they call it, the building permits and everything else that they got to pay for is really what they eat the money up on. But yet, Senator Martin, for some reason, please tell me why. I was at the Labor Committee hearing in Middletown 2 weeks ago. Why are you attacking workers? Why, after an industry that just came out of a recession, many of them lost their homes, you are going after them to take more out of their pocket? And why are you going after unemployment? These people live paycheck to paycheck. They're seasonal workers. You know how many have been working out in this winter? One of the coldest ones on record. Not too many.
Jay?
Not too many.
My name is Jay Carey.
I know who you are.
Oh, thank you.
We met, remember?
Maybe someone did.
You were going to vote for me,
Hey,
remember?
Jay.
No.
I can only listen.
I don't know how he gets the answer to me. I didn't finish.
You are here in the beginning of the
We're
meeting.
listening.
I didn't get to finish. You
I
didn't
know.
shut me off and call this guy.
Mike, will you tell him what I said at the beginning of the meeting, please?
I was here the whole time.
I said at the beginning of the meeting, we're going to give other people, a lot of people, a chance to speak, 3 or 4 minutes.
I didn't go over
That's
3
what's going to
minutes.
happen. If you don't like it, I'm sorry, but that's
You're right,
what we
Whit,
all
I
agreed.
don't. I don't. I want the
Okay.
answer from the senator, not this gentleman.
You will get it in a minute. I
I'll get it now.
recognize Jay.
This is the service we
I'm
get.
sorry, go ahead, Jay.
This is the service we get.
Relax.
No. It's passion, pal.
Relax.
It's attacking workers.
Our industry, you say, is in trouble. The private enterprise construction is much more in trouble than the union enterprise in construction. When you say 70, 30%, this is not.
It is
It's
true.
about 50, it's not true.
You don't know the construction.
And the public sector with the union is definitely up there when the private sector is about there. There is a big gap. There's a really big gap, and Mike maybe can tell you. He knows, I'm sure. And I have a question.
I'll address the first question regarding the limits or the prevailing wage. Prevailing wage is actually pretty old. I mean, those thresholds of 100,000 for renovation work for municipalities, government work, is you have to use the prevailing wage when the threshold is hit at $100,000 or more. In addition to that, any new construction, you have to use prevailing wage. That is 20, 30 years old, and by changing the threshold, you're bringing it up to closer to you will be helping out the municipalities in their ability to keep the costs down. And that's the reason why this is being looked at, in order to keep costs down for us taxpayers. In addition to that,
Can you just explain, because I didn't know this at first, but like that threshold, I'm not sure everybody understands, what do you mean by the threshold?
well, when there's a
I don't-
construction project that's
I'm not-
going out to bid by a city, if it's a new construction, and it's gonna be over $400,000, you have to use prevailing wage. And if you're gonna do renovation work at $100,000, anything greater than that, you gotta use prevailing wage. Simple as that. There are two bills being introduced by the bargaining units for labor, and that is they want these guidelines only for municipalities, right? They want to introduce these thresholds for the private sector. They have a bill now in labor that turns that municipal, those requirements for the cities to the private sector. Can you imagine what happens if that gets passed? If we have to start using prevailing wages on $100,000 or more for private sector work? And in addition to that, they also have a different bill that reduces, anything that's tied to the government funding. If you're going to get a grant, if you're going to get a loan from the government, anything that's tied to the government with money, you would have to use these prevailing wages at $100,000, $400,000. So
There were dollars there. There were significant dollars. And you know, while I'm on the subject, if I may, to add some clarity for what this, for the young lady said in the crowd tonight, where we had the governor in our back pocket, that is not true. Those negotiations were tough, and they were fair negotiations.